Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. This is going to be my update for Pan in Every Palette. This project was originally created by Lady Pans a Lot, and our goal is to just hit a pan in every palette we own. This is a marathon, it's not a sprint. Go slow. I have been tracking my usages on the palettes that I'm working on, and I am working on 4 palettes at a time. I will include a playlist down below of others that are or have been doing this project in the past. I do not have any new pans for today, but I have been using all of these palettes here and there. As always, some more than others. So let me show you where I'm at with the 4 palettes that I'm currently working on. It is so humid here today that I took a shower like 3 hours ago. I didn't wash my hair, but my hair got a little bit wet in the shower and it is still soaking wet in the back of my head. As soon as this video is done being filmed, it's going back up in a bun because I feel disgusting. I got one use out of good old Pat this past month. Don't know why. I don't know why I don't reach for this, but one use, that's the one I'm trying to hit pan on. I basically get one use a month out of this palette. That's kind of the minimum expectation for this project, but it's not really panning. Next, let's talk about my Subculture palette. I think I only used this palette twice in the past month, but I used 3 shades one time. Bless you. I used Untamed once, and today I have Dawn and New Wave in my transition area. This is my first time using Dawn throughout the whole time this palette's been in this project, and it was the perfect way to bring in New Wave, because sometimes when I go in first with New Wave, it's a little bit too much, and I actually really like combining the two. Although they're very different, Dawn's kind of a neutrally brown, and New Wave is this kind of like orangey mustardy shade. I felt like Dawn was a good first shade to use, and I think I might be doing that more often because sometimes, like I said, when I go in first with New Wave, I have to do a lot of work to blend it out and make it look nice, whereas you guys probably all know this already because you all have this palette and I'm like late to the game, but since I used Dawn first, it just all blended out a little bit more smoothly. I should be doing that more often. So only one use this past month for Dawn, New Wave, and Untamed. The dip in New Wave is expanding slightly. I'm hoping to get a lot of use out of this shade throughout the summer. I did also buy this shirt recently, and every time I wear this shirt, I look at it and I'm like, gotta wear New Wave. So hopefully the shirt will inspire me to reach for this shadow more often too. We'll see. The palette that I used the next most over the past month is the newest to this project. This is my Too Faced Life's a Festival palette, and the shade that I've decided to try and hit pan on is this top one right here called Fun in the Sun. I am so glad I chose this shade and I'm working on it. It has been perfect. It has done exactly what I was hoping it would do. I've only used this 5 times in the past month, but I think every time I reached for this shade, it was to pair with this blue eyeshadow from my Dude You Pan My Battleship project that I'm trying to hit pan on. This blue eyeshadow, aside from the fact that I'm not a big fan of blue eyeshadow, it's just a poor performing eyeshadow, and I am committed to at least hitting pan on it. Maybe at that point I will declutter it, but I do want to hit pan on it. And it doesn't really show from back here, but when I look up close, this blue shadow is just patchy. In order for me to get it to look like that, I had to layer like 5 layers of that blue eyeshadow on top of each other. I haven't tried layering that blue shadow on top of a glitter primer, which is the next thing I want to try, but I don't currently have a glitter primer. I had one and I gave it away. So I either need to get it back from the person I lent it to, Jamie, or I need to buy a new one, which I also might do. but in the meantime, if I layer some of this shade right here on top of the blue shade, I love the way it looks. I only have a little bit on today because I wanted to talk about my struggles with the blue eyeshadow. Plus I wanted to just try and wear more of the blue. What this does is it turns that blue into a kind of more greeny look, and it just, oh, it's gorgeous. I have like a slight dip going on it already. It's a bit of a duochrome, and I just love this shade. I am so glad that I'm working on that shade. It is making that blue eyeshadow so much more tolerable. So yeah, I have 5 more uses for a total of 7 uses on that eyeshadow. And once again, the palette that I've used the most over the past month is my Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette. I'm trying to hit pan on either of these 2 lightest matte creamy shades. I combine them as an under eye setting powder. I did get 22 uses on both of them this past month. I feel like there's a slight dip, but I don't feel like I'm that close to hitting pan. And unfortunately, I don't think I will be able to rely as heavily on this palette over the next month as I have been in previous months, because I rolled back in the Hourglass powder that I was working on before this into another project, and I want to finish it off, and it's a summertime project. So I'm going to be using that one for the next 10 weeks or so, which means over the next 2 months I'm not going to be reaching for this a whole lot unless I can actually finish that Hourglass powder. This is not going to be my day-to-day powder for setting my under eyes. So I need to rely on an eyeshadow palette to make some good progress in this project over the next month. And as much as I would like to say it's going to be the Pat McGrath, because I would like to hit pan on that Pat McGrath palette, I know already it's going to be this one. I want to keep working on this blue eyeshadow, and the best way for me to do that is to use the shade alongside of it. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on over the next month. Hopefully I can get like somewhere between 10 and 15 uses with this shade over the next month. And I do like the combination of New Wave with this look. I've been changing up my transition shades depending on my mood or my outfit. Sometimes I go with the coral from my Pan That palette. Sometimes I go with a coppery NYX single that's in my Doo Doo Pan My Battleship project. But I actually really like New Wave with this look as well. So I might stick with New Wave and Fun in the Sun and this blue eyeshadow. And then I also have a little bit of the matte brown from my Pan That palette, just because I gotta keep working on my Pan That palette too. So at least I'm still working on one shade from that palette as well. So that's gonna be my plan. I'm not expecting much progress in Kat Von D, but hopefully I can make good progress on my ABH and my Too Faced palette over the next month. Wish me luck. All right, guys, that is it for this update. I have got to get my hair off my neck because I am sweating. It is so humid today. I hope the weather is treating you guys well wherever you're at. We've had a lot of rain this past week, but not the kind of rain that like breaks the humidity and is nice and comfortable afterwards. The kind that's still building. Like, we haven't had the storm yet. It's still coming. We've had lots of storms, but the storm that finally breaks the humidity has not arrived yet. But I hope you guys are hanging in there wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.